Hey guys, this is Sid of the Boss Podcast. Excited to have you guys back today. And today I want to talk about something that is literally been one of the most impactful things and the most impactful person in my life up until this point that I almost never talk about. And I want to start to share the conversations that I'm having with this person with you because of how it's impacted my life, how I show up. A lot of my transformation over the last few years has been attributed to this person. I think it's information that I know he would because I've talked to him about it. This is information that is only going to be for certain ears. And for those ears that it is for, it will be extremely supportive for the evolution of human consciousness. Sounds so intense when I say it. But essentially, a few years ago, a really, really dear mentor and friend of mine told me, she was like, I really feel like you should sit with my mentor. And I'm like, I don't think that I need to do that. I don't really need a therapist right now. I'm good. And this was just after a horrible breakup. And she's like, I really think you should. I think it was about a year before I ever ended up calling this person. She gave me his number. And one day I finally was like, all right, I got to such a low point in my life where it was post that relationship, but then I had found out other stuff about that relationship. It was just heartbreaking. I was going through this horribly painful time. And also just this lost time of what am I doing in my life, in my business? Where am I going? What's the next step? Who am I? All of these questions that I was having. And I finally call this person and we get on the phone. I'm going to give him a name. I'm just going to call him Monk. It's close to it. For about 3 hours this day, he's like, okay, well, if we get on the phone, I would love to sit and explore. We usually leave about 3 hours of space. I'm like, 3 fucking hours? I don't have 3 fucking hours of space. What are you talking about? I'm busy. And I finally swallow my pride and I sit with this monk for 3 hours on a Saturday. And it was so fascinating because within minutes of sitting with him, I'm in tears. I feel so safe. I feel so seen. And I feel like this man has truth just embedded in his DNA. And I'm like, whatever this guy's drinking, I need some of it. And it was in that moment that I was like, I'm having conversations with a monk and I'm going to do it frequently. Because after that call, what had happened is I had finally released energy that had been stored in my body from that trauma response that had happened in my relationship for so long. It was affecting me so much, and I was finally able to release some of it. And for me, who was not a feeler at all, I would just let feelings bubble up until the point where I would explode. It's like Midwest. You just keep shoving them down, shoving them down, shoving them down. And I finally got to the point where I was able to cry. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I can cry. I can process my emotions. I can feel my feelings. And I can start to release some of this frustration and anger I have inside of me that I've just been suppressing for years. And it was the only time I've been able to cry around someone in forever. And so I sit with him in that first session, and not only was the crying impactful, the conversation was impactful. This man had worked for NASA space company for years and had a top 1% IQ, if not even higher than that, as well as lived in ashrams and have so many different spiritual experiences over his 60 years on the planet. And it was just like this person that felt like home. So I started to sit with my monk every week or every other week, sometimes every month. What I've learned from him over the years has, again, like I said, truly transformed me and made such an impact in my life. Besides my dad and Alexander, he truly is the most important man in my life, just plain and simple. He is the person that I know eternally loves me. No matter what I do, no matter what I say, this guy loves me. And this guy loves everyone like that. And it is so powerful to be in a relationship with someone who is pure love and pure light and no bullshit, this world. And so he has really helped and supported me in transforming over the years, especially in the last 6 to 12 months, consistently working with him. And so what I would like to do in these episodes is to share my conversations with a monk, because this information, him and I a lot, we explore a lot about how to share this information with people to make it accessible, right? And so I think that it's very important in my journey to share the things that I've learned. And I love being able to do that through social media. And so being able to share this piece of my life that I've never really shared. And when people ask me how have you been transforming? What have you been doing? This is what I've been doing. This is what I've been doing. And I've kind of gone away for a while and been doing this work because it's been really, really important to me. And for so long, I was so distracted. I'm going to make an episode about this. I was so distracted with bullshit. I needed to just take some time away and really only absorb this kind of information, this kind of positivity, this kind of wisdom and truth. And now I'm really just excited to be able to share my conversations with the monk. So essentially, each month or so, I'll probably be sharing different conversations, different experiences that I'm having, because I think it's so fun. I think it's so cool. And, the first thing that I learned with my teacher is I came to him and I was like, I just feel like I've lost friendships and I've just had things come and go out of my life. And I just feel like I don't have a connection to my spirituality anymore. He so simply was like, well, have you been treating spirituality like a relationship? And I was like, no, not at all. And so whether you're spiritual, whether you're into, religion or whatever it is you may be into, it was a lesson for me in it's a relationship. Spirituality, I'm just going to refer to it as spirituality because spirituality is a relationship with God or the universe or source or chitti or creation is my responsibility and my relationship to it is my responsibility. And so it was when I realized that if I don't invest the time and the energy into it, I won't have one. Simple. But I was feeling in that moment when I came to him as though I just was longing. I was like longing for my spirituality in myself to be there and to be strong. And the only way to get it strong and to feel like that longing can go away is by working at the relationship. And so it became my number one priority over the last 6 months to prioritize my relationship with my spirituality because of that longing that I had. And I'm sure many of you feel it. It's like a deep longing in your heart for truth and for love and for transparency and honesty and integrity and all the things that we long for as humans that we think we're going to get in clothes and we think we're going to get in the cool houses and cars and we think we're going to get in the likes or whatever it may be. That longing is truly just a lack of your relationship with source or with your creator or with your spirituality. And so for me, that has been my primary focus over the last 6 months. And I can tell you, I'm going to share the stories and teachings and the lessons that he's shared with me, transformational when you put that relationship. And again, if it's God, if it's Jesus, if it's Allah, Buddha, it doesn't matter. When you put that relationship with yourself and with your creator first, everything becomes better in life. And so with that being said, I'm excited to share my conversations with a monk with all of you. If this is content that you are excited for, please comment below, subscribe, like it, let me know that this is something you want to learn, because this again is true ancient wisdom that is applicable to now, right? It's like deeper than the philosophers where it's so true still to this day, right? Which is so cool. And so I'm excited to share it with you. If you guys have any questions that you have about life, any of it, share it with me because I can take it to him and I can ask him and I can share it with all of you. So I'm excited for this series of conversations with a monk and we'll see you in the next episode.